and welcome everyone to Miss Evanny and Miss Mel's virtual classroom day number 3, April 22nd, 2020. Today is math day. Woohoo! Brody's in the background saying woohoo! We're all happy to see you. We're all happy to see you. If you're joining us for the first time, we hope you had a glorious spring break filled with, you guys know how I feel about bugs. I feel like there's a bug on me. Filled with glorious outdoor activities and sunshine, practicing social distancing, of course, but going on a bike ride. Mentioned going on pig walks in our last class together, maybe some giraffe walks. I don't know. Take your pick. So welcome. This is our virtual math class day. Every Wednesday will be math. Today we are going to do a review of, you guys guessed it, open number lines. Wow, the crowd goes wild, open number lines. With addition. We are going to be using open number lines as a review to solve addition calculations, like 5 plus 5 or 17 plus 8, and word problems. Miss Mel had 22 rescue pups, and she got 8 more. How many rescue pups does she have now? Solving problems like that, those types of problems. Today will just be addition. Next week we will go into subtraction. Before we get going, as always, and I've mentioned my past couple videos, expectations that happen in room 202 back at McKinley are as follows here. If you need a snack, the beauty of this virtual classroom is you could just pause me and go get a snack. That's what you can do. That's glorious. You can pause me if you need to go to the bathroom and just come on back. You can do this at your convenience. I just ask that this video be watched and the connecting activity can be completed by our next Wednesday math session. So you guys have a whole week to watch this video and do the activity. Always email us, ask questions if you have any wonderings, if you have any great ideas. Miss Evanny and I want to hear from you, so please feel free to send questions our way. We are also going to be using a PowerPoint for our math lessons through the form of this cool iPad and the Explain Everything app. So that's where we'll be doing a lot of our instruction, and you can always find the attached activity to this posting in your Seesaw classroom. So without further ado, let's get into our open number line review for addition. Woo! Using sums within 100. Pop question, what does the word sum mean? Perhaps we'll find out in our PowerPoint. See you all there. If you are all hearing me, then you have made it successfully to the addition strategy review of open number lines. From the beginning of the year, you young, wonderful mathematicians, we have been using open number lines to solve addition and subtraction calculations and word problems. So let's get into this great review. You have Miss Mel and Miss Evanny here as your guides through this addition open number line review. Yay! These are fireworks, yay! To reiterate, what is an open number line? An open number line is a tool for addition and subtraction that gives us a visual model. We can see it. We have our number line. It gives us a tool to look at numbers, finding the difference, to build our understanding of numbers, to build our mathematical reasoning. Give us that visual tool. It's always good to have. Sometimes we use blocks, sometimes we use different manipulatives. This is another way to visually see our math reasoning skills. Math reasoning. An open number line helps strengthen our ability to work with numbers quickly and accurately. Remember, our goal is to get our partners to 10 super fast. We want to use the open number line effectively. We should know all those combinations of two numbers that add up to 10 and be able to decompose numbers to help us get to the next 10 easily. By decompose, I mean break numbers apart. So if we have 7, we can also break it into 3 and 4. We can also break it into 1 and 6. We can also break it into, let's see, 2 and 5, or 0 and 7. We want to be able to do that quickly. That's decomposing that number. Let's start from the beginning. Let's start with equations that have sums of 10 or below. Let's look at this first problem. Remember, the whole idea of our open number lines. We have those 3 important questions. Pretend you guys are in our classroom at McKinley room 202 and you see that big poster over our projector that says open number lines. Our big 3 questions. I hope you guys are saying it at home with me. Where do we start? What jumps do we make? And where do we end up? Let's see. All right, 7 plus 1. Monkey man, we got this. Where do we start? We start at 7. What jumps do we make? Well, what are we adding to 7? We're adding 1. We're going to take a jump of 1. And where do we end up? What's right next to 7? We have 8. Those 3 questions help guide the creation of our open number lines. Let's go to the next one. 10 plus 4. Now this is a sum that's greater than 10. Remember the sum, as I mentioned earlier in the video, the sum is the result of 2 numbers, 2 or more numbers added together. It's the result of an addition equation. So let's find our sum. Where do we start? Well, we start at 10. What jumps do we make? We have a couple options here. Remember about those decomposing numbers? We can take a jump of 4. Where do we end up? 14. If we're feeling fancy, we can take 2 jumps. What can we decompose 4 into? 2 and 2. So we can go, here's one way. Another way can be 10, take a jump of 2, gets me to 12. If that's easier for me, I can take 2 jumps and another hop of 2 because I have 2 left from that 4, gets me to that 14. Remember, sometimes we take 1 hop, 2 hop, 3 hops. In this sense, or in this question, I would take that 1 hop. I feel confident going from 10 and taking a jump or a hop of 4, but sometimes we might break up that 4. 8 plus 9. Let's see. This might be a time where we want to get to a friendly number. And what's that sweet spot friendly number? It is 10. So where do we start? Well, we start at 8. Let's start at 8. What jumps do we make? Well, I can do a jump of 9. I can do that. But I want to get to a friendly number. That's what it's all about. We want to get to a friendly number. So here's one. Before I go into that one, let's do 8. Let's break up this 9. I want to get to 10. That's my friendly number. 8 plus what will get me to 10? Well, 8 plus 2. So let's break this 9 into 2 and 7. 8 plus 2 gets me to 10. That's my first hop. So I took a hop of 2. And now what's left of my 9, we have 7. 10 plus 7, that's a lot friendlier for me to see. 10 plus 7 gets me to 17. So we would end up at 17 both ways, but it's really helpful, taking half of 2 and 7, really helpful to use those friendly numbers. Now let's look at equations and word problems where we add multiples of 10. How many jumps should we take? Okay, here's our first one. 44 plus 10. Let's see. Where do we start? 44. What jumps do we make? Well, thinking about my hundreds chart and going up and down, I know that 10 more, I can close my eyes, I know that 10 more, if I'm thinking about my hundreds chart, 10 more than 44 is going to be 54. So I'm going to just take 1 hop of 10, and it's going to get me to 54. And put that there too. This is a time where I wouldn't split up that 10. That 10 is a friendly number. I'm going to keep it that way. So where do we start? 44. What jumps do we make? We make a hop of 10. And where do we end up? 54. We got this. Let's go to our next one. Okay, now we're dealing with a multiple of 10, 20. Let's see. We have a couple options here. Where do we start? We start at 52. What jumps do we make? Well, we have a couple options. We can take, if we're feeling confident, having that hundreds chart in our brain, we can take a hop of 20. Where do we end up? 72. Or, if we want to take a couple hops, we can go 52, and we can break up this 20 into a 10 and 10. Remember, decomposing our numbers. Do a hop of 10, gets me to 62, and another hop of 10 will get me to 72. 2 options there. Now, let's look at it in a word problem. I collected 20 seashells, then I collected 10 more. How many shells do I have now? Where do I start? Remember our 3 important questions. Where do we start? Well, I started with 20. Then I collected 10 more. Now I need to figure out where do I end up. What addition equation can we write here? We're going to write, started with 20. We added on 10 more. Let's see where it gets us. Let's see where we end up. I have 20. I have my friendly hop of 10. Where do I get to? 30. I can post, if anyone would like me to post a digital hundreds chart, I can find one and I'm happy to post that along, or I can email that to you guys, so just let me know. 46. Where do we start? 46. Okay, I collected 46 shells. Then I collected 30 more. How many shells do I have now? 3 important questions. Where do we start? 46. And then I collected 30 more. That's my jump. Where do we end up? My equation is now going to be 46 plus 30. And again, now we have a multiple of 10. We have a couple options here. We can do our first option, which is 46. Take a big hop of 30. Let's see where that gets us. But first, I'm gonna do 3 hops, because I can break this 30 into 3 tens. I can decompose it into 3 tens. Let's see where that gets us first. I want to do 3 hops. So 46 plus 10 will get us to 56. Plus another 10 will get us to 66, plus another 10. Here are my 3, I'm going to change that color now. Here are my 3 jumps, because I broke that 30 into 3 tens, and I get to 76. Just like that. Very nice. 76. Let's look at some addition word problems going to the next 10. Remember, we have friendly numbers, and also it's really helpful if we get to that next 10 with our addition open number lines. We got this. 27 kids were at the playground. 5 more kids came. How many children are at the playground now? Remember our 3 questions. I didn't write them on this slide. I hope you guys can come up with them. I bet you can. Where do we start? We start at 27. What is our hop? We take a hop of, so here's, I'm going to represent our questions here. Where do we start? 27. What's going to be our hop? 5. And then third is, where do we end up? We don't know yet. Let's use the strategy of getting to the next 10. We have to take a jump of 5. 27 plus 5, yes, I could do, but I really want to get to my next 10, which is 30. So 27 plus what will get me to 30? I know that 7 plus 3 is 30, so 27 plus 3 is going to get me to 30. So I broke this 5 into 3, and 3's partner to 5 is 2. I have 2 left, 30. Take my second hop of plus 2, gets me to 32. So I broke this 5 and took 1 hop of 3, and then 1 hop of 2, gets me to 32. Let's do another one like that. So I'm going to write our questions here. 1, 2, 3. So 36 kids were at the playground. 9 more kids came. How many children are at the playground now? Well, we started with 36. We have to figure out a hop of 9, and we want to think about where we end up. Okay, so again, let's think about that strategy of getting to the next 10. We have 36. I want to get to my next 10, which is 40. What can I add on to 36 to get 40? Well, I know 6 plus 4 is 10, so I know 36 plus 4 is going to get me to 40. So I broke up this 9 into 4, and 4's partner to 9 is 5. Take my next hop of 5, and I get to 45. Excellent job, everyone. Okay, only a couple slides left. Only a couple slides left. Let's do some more 2-digit addition word problems using an open number line with numbers other than 10. We have 2 of these questions, and then we'll get into that activity. There were 45 ankylosauruses at the park. 15 more ankylosauruses came to play. How many ankylosauruses were there now? Well, where do we start? We know we start at 45. What jumps do we make? Let's see. We know we need to take a total jump of 15. But let's get to that next friendly 10 number. I know 45 plus 5 is going to get me to 50. I'm going to break 15 up into 10 and 5. So I have that 10 left. Plus 10 will get me to 60. Where do I end up? 60, just like that. You guys got this. There was a group of 65 sharks swimming in the water. 20 more sharks swam over to the group. How many sharks were swimming in the group now? Well, where do we start? 65. What jumps do we make? We have to make a total jump of 21. Let's see. Again, this is where those friendly numbers, getting to that next 10 really comes into play. Let's break this up. Let's get to, let's break this up. I'm going to take a big hop of 20. So I'm going to take a hop of 20, which gets me to 65, 75, 85. What do I have left? I have this 1 left. Plus 1 gets me to 86, just like that. Really important to decompose. We want to break apart our numbers. Okay, last problem here, and then I'll meet you back in the classroom. There were 78 dogs playing at the dog park. 12 dogs came to play. How many dogs were playing at the dog park now? Well, where do we start? We know we start at 78. What jumps do we make? We have to make a total jump of 12. We have 78. Let's break this up into 10 and 2. I like that friendly 10. 78 plus 10 gets me to 88. We still have that 2 left over. Plus 2 will get me to 90. Where do we end up? 90. Again, super important to decompose our numbers. Super important. You guys got this. I will see you back in the virtual classroom. Again, everyone, I hope you enjoyed our first math virtual classroom lesson of an addition open number line review. Now, there are 3 different activities, as you'll see, posted into this lesson. I want you guys to choose the equations and the word problems you think best suit you. If it's a little difficult to use the drawing tools, feel free to write the problems down on a piece of paper, and your families can take a picture and send it to me, or you guys can take a picture and send it to me. All I ask is that you guys have this whole week to do this. If you have any questions, please email, call us. Again, pick the activity. If you want to do more than one, great. If you want to do all 3, great. Not required. Just pick the one you think best suits you and where you are at in your math thinking. I will see you guys, you mathematicians, next Wednesday. Again, Friday are my office hours. If you need anything, I'll be here in this wonderful virtual classroom. See you later. Have a marvelous, marvelous Wednesday.